we are all talking about why Mumbai has gone wrong, and we are talking about Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan not scoring. But the fact of the matter is that when you invest on a player who's unavailable, so either you have thought that let this year we are going to take this as a chance.
Hello, good evening. Here's a very warm welcome to you for our show of Straight Bat with Mr. Cricket UAE. We have got quite a few members today for the discussion on what was, quite an eventful day of double header. We have got the man himself, Anis Sajan. We have got the Gulf News Sports Editor, A.K. Satish, and Mr. Naresh Mansukani, who's a Mumbai Indians fan. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not a good day to be a Mumbai Indians fan, but then we would like to, pick his brains and find out where did Mumbai go wrong for the season to start with. Anyway, to start with, I'll first come to Anis Bhai, and as we do, we give for those who may be tuning in late with our program, if you can just say a few words about the competition that is on right now.
Well, thank you, Gautam. Hi, Satish. Hi, Naresh. And hello to all the lovely people of Gulf News. Well, the competition is to predict the winner. And predicting the winner of this IPL, as I said, is very, very difficult. But if you predict, you walk in away with the lovely t-shirt which Naresh is wearing, and a track pant and a cap, of course, thanks to Gulf News and a digital subscription.
Right. I must say this t-shirt is really looking jazzy,
Yeah, yes,
this
nice,
new
yeah.
one. Yeah. Okay, I will come to since the Mumbai and Lucknow match was an earlier one. I'll come to Naresh Bhai first. First up, I mean, on the face of it, it was quite a spirited chase. But the moment Lucknow got 199 on the board and KL Rahul got the brilliant century, it was a bit demoralizing for Mumbai, I think, to go all the way. But today was a fight for survival. So how are you looking back to Mumbai's campaign so far, Naresh Bhai, and what do you think can be done from here?
Well, yeah, it's been disappointing so far, no doubt. Talking only about today's game to start with, first was Rohit Sharma said he wants to chase, but then what was surprising, was his approach in the power play. You want to bowl first, but you are holding back Bumrah, who is probably now the only confident bowler, you can say, because we have over the 6 games, but we are still searching for a bowling combination. So that was a bit of a disappointing move, that why Bumrah is not going up front. Yes, Quinton de Kock has played a lot for Mumbai. He struggles against spin up front, but you got a part-timer Tilak Verma to start with. So a couple of decisions today were a bit strange. But there are a lot of talks about how we went about in the auction, but this auction has given us Dewald Brevis and Tilak Verma, so we need to be a little positive on the way things have gone with the batting. Overall campaign has been disappointing. Out of the 6, we chased 3, we couldn't make it. All 3 were above 190 score. 3, we couldn't defend the total, where big overs were given. Today also, I felt we came back in the game a bit. After 10, Lucknow was 94. Last game against Punjab, it was 99 in the first 10. So the second 10 or the second half of the bowling was little better. Especially the last over of Unatkar was very very nice. So there have been positives, but yes, Bumrah looks to be a lone stander there who is containing, as well as making those wicket-taking deliveries. We are struggling in both. We don't have a partner to Bumrah to contain and then go ahead and take wickets. So that's a bit disappointing. Good move to get Fabian Allen today. I felt he should have been there after the first 2 games. Today, a smaller ground, more grass, but still he got the first breakthrough of Quinton de Kock. A couple of games he should settle, but we need to get that right bowling combination. We have tried too much. I think we have overdone the experiments of who should be around Bumrah to sustain. It's time we settle down with what we believe in. I think batting has still gone well. We haven't chased the way we would have liked. 2 opportunities for, I would say, Kyron Pollard missed out. One was the first one against, I think it was Rajasthan Royals, and the second one was today's game. I think in the middle today, Tilak Verma and Surya could have been a little faster. I think they got a little conservative because they felt that they would do it in the last 5. But when you think that way and you get out, is where the concern comes. But batting concern, batting concern, Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan. Now that's becoming concerning because we don't know who the backup is if one of the openers is really not continuing to score. So that's a concern now. Yeah.
Right. I will come back to Anis Bhai before I move on to Satish, because I saw the comment which you made, I mean, which was on the go, but you hit the nail on the head by saying that Mumbai got things wrong in the auction. So if you can just tell us, for those who haven't gone through, where was it? I mean, could the retention had been a little more thought out? And of course, that decision to invest on Archer when you know that he's not going to play for this season. Anis Bhai, can you talk us through that?
Yeah, Gautam, like we are all talking about why Mumbai has gone wrong, and we are talking about Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan not scoring. But the fact of the matter is that when you invest on a player who's unavailable, so either you have thought that this year we are going to take this as a chance and see how it goes, and expect if Jofra Archer and Bumrah as a pair would be great. We don't know how Jofra Archer is. Number two, you invested on a player 8 crores, which is Team David, and you have given him 2 chances. Every player needs 3-4 games to get into an IPL. IPL is one of the most toughest format. A bigger player like Mitchell Marsh struggled. We'll come back to it later, but many players have struggled. Even Warner in his first game struggled. So you can't expect a youngster who's just coming of age and show off his skills. Third, they don't have a spinner, which I forgot to mention in my article, which I'm sure we'll try and amend it. They don't have a spinner. Now, in the auction, they did not bid for Shahal. They did not bid for Ashwin. They did not bid for a genuine spinner. They don't have a spinner. They are Murugappan Ashwin as much as he's good.
I mean,
but he's not a match
Fabian
winner.
Allen is a guy who's...
You can't expect Fabian Allen to win you games. Come on, give me a break, Gautam. Or to any Mumbai fan. He can't win you a match with the ball. They have had a history of Bumrah bowling well. But at the same time, these wickets are going to get slower and slower as the match progresses, as the tournament progresses. So these are the 3 cases. And depending too much on Bumrah is asking, they are just playing him out. So in short, Mumbai has got it totally wrong in the auction.
Right.
But Anis Bhai, just to follow up.
Can I add to Anis?
Satish, 1 second. I will welcome. Before we move on, I will welcome Yathat in the discussion. Welcome, Yathat. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. He's Yathat Taluja. He's as you don't have to tell us that which team do you belong to. So we will come to you since we had started the discussion a little while back, not much. Yes. So
Gautam, Naresh had something to say. Sorry.
I just wanted to add, as Anis Bhai said on the spinners, Markanday was part of Mumbai team a couple of years back.
He's still part of it. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
We don't see him play. So.
In fact, when that particular season which you were referring to, he was regarded as quite a like young sensation with that leg spinner. Yeah. Yes, of course he's there. But as Anis Bhai is saying that you need a real experienced quality match winning spinner. I mean that's the point he's trying to make. Or you go for a Bishnoi, invest in him. Anyway, I will just come to Yathat before we move on. Yathat, today was not Delhi's day. I mean, obviously they had started off so well, but then those 2 efforts. One was definitely the early momentum where Maxwell tried to break free, and then of course the game-changing innings was that of DK. Otherwise, they would have ended up somewhere in the region of maybe 160, 165. But in the chase, despite having that good start, they were 50 for 1 when they lost Prithvi Shaw. What do you think went wrong, Yathat? I mean, this seems to be a problem with Delhi. Obviously, Mitch Marsh was the weak link in the chase, but we would like to hear from you.
Well, definitely. When you talk about Delhi Capitals, we got off to a flyer of a start, both with ball and bat in the hand. You have locked down opposition to 5 wickets in the first 10 overs. You expect to crumble down. You had an opportunity, to crumble down them to at least a 150, probably a 160 could have been accepted, but 190, that was a phenomenal innings from Dinesh Karthik, and we let that slip off. We had a chance to choke the opposition. We could have balled in Mustafizur and we could have balled in our the best ballers, but that was a key link which we missed. Rishabh Pant, obviously, he dropped the major wicket of Dinesh Karthik when he was just 2 runs. But when it came with bat in the hand, we have got an extremely talented batting lineup. We almost bat till number 8. If you have got Shardul Thakur who bats at number 8, we've got a pretty solid batting lineup, and we got off to a flyer of a start with both Prithvi Shaw as well as David Warner. David Warner taking the charge, scoring 66, and then Prithvi Shaw playing a little brisk cameo. But Mitchell Marsh probably, just coming into the side. The same story with David Warner, faced when he was playing the first game, and felt some nerves. Probably, not the best day for Mitchell Marsh, but still we had the game. Rishabh Pant was playing a gem of an innings, 34 or 17 balls, but as I say, when the fate is not in your hands, the things start to crumble, down a way. So just that outing, but you have lost 3 matches and you're down at the number 8 position. So we have got the quality, we have got the very best players. So I feel that more of management decisions, sending Robin Powell ahead. I thought that was a very big gamble because you require 34 of last 2 over. Robin Powell had been sent there, it could have been a game changer, a blinder of an inning. So probably some decisions to be taken consideration of what the game situation is. We could have this matter really very short, but you need to pick up the momentum. You need to win 2 to 3 matches at a trot and just start a momentum, because this is a very young team. The more positive wins, the more encouragement, the better this team is going to shine. But we need wins now. That is the desperate matter.
Right. Yeah, that's a very, very, valid and observation, I would say. Now, on that note, I'll come to Satish, who had been waiting for a while. Satish, DK, at 37, and, about a little more than a year back, we thought that DK has kind of, had his time in serious cricket, and he would take up the TV commentary job seriously, since he did so well in India's last tour of England both for the WTC final and then the Test series. He said before the IPL started, I remember that, I had been doing some kind of training and I had been prepping for this. It hasn't come just like that. What do you think he has done? Because the range of improvisations that were on display today is simply amazing. So if you can talk about it, I mean, what has he done to his game, or it was always there? With experience, he is making the best use of that.
I think, Gautam, we have to look at it in a different perspective, because yes, DK playing a brilliant knock, and I think he's got out only once so far, maybe. So he's been in the form of his life, no doubt about it. But we also look at it from a different perspective, where Maxwell, who couldn't perform in some other teams, has come to Bangalore and he's performing. The DK, who couldn't perform in other teams, is coming here and performing. Maybe other players also. So that is a lot about the Bangalore team management, where they must be giving the confidence to the players and telling them, or giving them specific roles, what needs to be done, and giving them the free hand to play. Like, see, obviously the pressure on the field is one, but if there is no pressure coming from within the management about your position or about the way you perform, or the accountability. Yes, everybody has an accountability, but if you want to do it differently, and obviously DK is a senior player, you could take charge of things. So I would say it is more to do with the Bangalore Royal Challengers Bangalore team management than anything else. And I hope they do well, and they seem to be enjoying their game quite well as the league progresses.
Right. I'll come back to Anis Bhai. Yes, I know that Bangalore is, one of your favorite teams, but let's also take a look at the bigger picture. 4-5 rounds down the line, we have got the 2 newcomers occupying the top 2 spots. So before we move on to tomorrow's games, Anis Bhai, how do you see this? I mean, did you see this happening?
Well, honestly, no. Let me be very honest. I had spoken about Mumbai definitely not going to make it to the playoffs, but I was very hopeful about Delhi Capitals being one of the top teams. And today, when I saw the squad, when you look at the batting order, Prithvi Shaw, David Warner, Mitchell Marsh, Rishabh Pant, Romwell Paul, Lalit Yadav, Shardul Thakur, Akshar Patel, till 7 or 8, they have a batting power. Okay, today Mitchell Marsh, as Yatraj said, first game, bound to struggle, which happens to the best of best players. But one thing which I feel really sad to see, Ricky Ponting, who is such a hardcore coach, rather hardcore captain, or Rishabh Pant, why wouldn't you call the player back now that the rule has been set by Ashwin that if the player is not getting the ball off the park, you can call him a retired hurt. Why are you waiting for Christmas? When a player plays 20% of the overs, which is 4 overs, and scores 14 runs, and that has cost you the game because this was a belter of a wicket. And in the end, as Yatraj mentioned, 30 or 34 runs were required, and you did not have batters to clear the boundary. So this situation wouldn't have arisen had you realized, okay, 14, 15 balls, Marsh, your time is up. Thank you very much. You take that hard call. When you take the hard call of dropping a player, why can't you take the hard call of calling a player? It might be a little harsh for that player of Mitchell Marsh's quality, but he's one of the team men who will understand that no, the team requires, and in the end, they ended up with nothing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, in the Australian culture, obviously, I don't think even Marsh would have, it was possibly an end to his agony that he was, run out in
Thank
that
God, it's a
unfortunate
blessing in
manner.
disguise. Let's
Yes,
put it.
that didn't help. Yeah, that didn't help.
No, but I think what has happened is
I'll come to you, Satish. I'll come to you, Satish. This retired out, as Anis Bhai has raised the point. A quick point from you as to how much are you in support of this, especially when a cricketing sense demands it. What would you say?
See, retired out is something which is done because somebody is not good at it. So if somebody is not good at it, why do you want to be there? That's my question. Yes, it's like a man cut out. Like it's there. The rules are there. It's there. But my question is, why would you send somebody who couldn't do it then? Why would you have to put yourself in that position? But again, Mitchell Marsh is a quality player, and I'm sure that he could have tried better. That is one. I think what has happened is that's what I was trying to say. After that assault on DK's assault on the 30 overs, Mustafizur, I think Delhi stopped thinking. I think that's where they completely, because 167, 170 was the past score. It was not chaseable on the Wankhede wickets. But here you went on to score 190, and that over change. And if you look at Ponting's facial expressions after that, he was glum. So I think what has happened, they completely stopped thinking after that. And they could have called back Mitchell Marsh, which is okay in the sense it's perfectly accepted. And but what will also happen is they must have thought, okay, even though he is saying that he will be able to accelerate later on, which is also a possible thinking, which again, he can get some time, like 16, 20 balls on the ground, like he can get that match practice time, which he had today. So all that would play a role in taking a decision. That's why I think they didn't do that. But yeah, cricket is moving on. If retired out is a part and parcel of the game, and it will be in the future.
That's what I wanted to know from you. Yes, I mean, there are plenty to talk about, but I think we will come to tomorrow's matches now. Basically, we have got, in the first one, we have Punjab taking on SRH, and SRH are looking a bit on the resurgence mode now after 3 back-to-back wins. And Gujarat Titans, the top team now, they are going to take on Chennai. So I'll start with Naresh Bhai for a change. A quick prediction as to what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Punjab versus Hyderabad and Gujarat versus CSK.
Yeah, so all the 4 teams are coming with a win behind them. They have won their last games. All are on a rise, and now the point tables is such now this is going to get more and more tight. So it's not only about the 2 points. I think now you're going to get into the situation of how we overtake the other team with net run rate also. So yes, there would be more smartness be seen on the field on how they restrict the runs and how quickly they score. But when it comes to these 2 games, I would still hold Punjab having a little upper hand to Hyderabad tomorrow, and Gujarat over Chennai. I would go with these 2 teams for tomorrow.
Yatat, your prediction very quickly.
I mean, Naresh has completely covered all the various points. I mean, all the teams coming after, a blaster of a points. I feel, Punjab and Hyderabad is going to be a closely match game. I feel that game going down to the wire, but I feel Punjab, comparatively a better side, and I, hope something from the comeback Royals, Chennai Super Kings. So I feel Punjab and Chennai Super Kings have a better chance for tomorrow's game.
That's interesting. Anis bhai, we would like to hear from you.
Yeah, the first game is going to be tight, but like everybody says Punjab, I would say the team batting first. I've seen in all the day games, the team which is batted first has gone on to win the match. And I believe it's going to happen tomorrow too. We'll have to wait and watch. And in the second game, we are talking about who's playing.
Chennai and Gujarat.
Gujarat.
Well, the momentum is with Gujarat. They're flying high with their captain leading from the front. So you have to back Gujarat. But CSK has come on a win. We'll have to wait and watch.
Right. Satish, could this be the turning point for Chennai, scoring that 200 plus, putting 200 plus total on the board, and your overall take on these two matches?
Yeah, the first game, I would still go with Punjab because I still feel Sunrisers are not a full-fledged team and they are not fully up and running. They are somehow winning the matches. I could see that, but they are not winning it convincingly in my view. But they are somehow managing it. But I would still go with Punjab tomorrow as well. Because Kane, I'm still not convinced with his form, and they still lack that momentum which would take them forward. And the second game, I would certainly back Chennai because for two reasons. Gujarat has been on a very good run, so the law of averages could catch up with them tomorrow. I hope so because Chennai has been my team. I can't deny that. But my point is, after 220 runs against this Bangalore attack, of course, Harshal Patel was not there. It would give Chennai the confidence, and confident Chennai is a different team altogether. It's difficult to beat them.
Right. Even I very quickly, I would like to add that when Chennai have the tails up, sometimes they do come up with the surprises. I mean, there are a lot of question marks over the new ball attack still, and now that Deepak Chahar has been ruled out for good for the season. But I would still go with say that Chennai has got a bit of the edge along with the law of averages. And the first game, yes, I think I'll have to go with Punjab Kings, because they have the depth this season. So let's see how it goes. Meanwhile, thank you for joining us. Special thanks to Naresh Bhai and Yatat for joining us and providing the viewpoint. So very interesting points there. Tomorrow we will come back after the match with a bigger discussion. Stay tuned. Thank you and good night.